feeling that that's not exactly a top priority for Eanix to ban away the Bastet again.
I love that ban.
And it's immediately, no questions asked, Osiris.
I'm surprised that they banned it away, considering that they could also first pick it, but I'm maybe leaning towards the fact that they can first pick the Hu Yi potentially, maybe the Kukulkan, because last time they banned the Athena and the Hu Yi, respecting truly that dual lane threat.
Yeah, I want them to go the Kukulkan again just because it didn't work that game, but he's actually so good on that god, and you just need to, like Aggro said earlier, you can't put a Xingqian with the Kukulkan because it takes away completely what you're trying to do and pressure out.
Interesting that Eanix would actually opt for that Athena ban as the second choice from their initial banning phase. So that, I think, is still a smart selection, though, because Strictly Business might have wanted to mix it up, maybe anticipating Eanix to take away the Osiris and the Thor, and instead it's an immediate first pick Hu Yi selection.
I mean, just like we were talking about, focusing out that dual lane. Matt Koitz loves the Athena. Fatal Ghost loves the Hu Yi. So now, Eanix, we're going to see what Vaporish Coast can do with this first pick Hu Yi.
And I'm really excited, actually, to watch him in action with this one because a lot easier, I would say, to play than Ullr. I mean, don't get me wrong, Vaporish's Ullr was sick, but this is a god that I think has a lot of prevalence in the meta right now because of his jungle clear is pretty dope, and he's also got great lane clear.
It's just a lot of control as well in these team fights, but boxing against a Namusin Cobb is not the easiest thing in the world. I'm expecting, however, Eanix to maybe abuse the lack of escapes from AMC, maybe go for some global pressure of their own.
I like the Hu Yi against the AMC matchup. I just think that Half Ghost is so comfortable on AMC that it doesn't really matter, in my opinion. I was looking for Eanix to kind of pick, you know, a more pressure god in either the solo or the jungle here, but I like Hu Yi anyway. Hu Yi is always a solid pick.
Do you think there's any possibility that we see... Actually, no, that
there
answers that question right away. It's going to be the Thoth selection in the next pick. So when you already have two carries like this put down, and you know that Thoth can suffer a little bit in the early game, and AMC as well, susceptible to ganks, what kind of a frontlining feature would you like to see Strictly Business complementing these two gods?
Honestly, he can just go Terra again, because he looked really comfortable on it, and it really does complement Thoth really well and AMC because of, you know, that regeneration, and the stun is really good, and the slows and stuff. So it does offer peel and stuff, but I wouldn't be surprised if he pulls, you know, out like a Ganesh or a Geb or something that can really help them out.
Thor and Sol, the selections for Eanix. They paired up this global pressure jungler on Eanix, taking this option away from Kaden, and not only that, probably going to be leaning to focus out Fatal Ghost. We're expecting probably Vaporish Coast to go into a little 1v1 boxing exchange, maybe force out some early relics, and then allowing his jungler to clean up.
Yeah, I really like it because you didn't ban it away from him, but you're comfortable enough to play it. So I'm really looking to see Osric play this god and see how well he plays it.
And you mentioned the Terra pick is maybe what you're expecting SB to try and opt for again, but looking at Eanix's draft, I can't see any possibility of them getting Fafnir in the 4th pick selection, and now we're seeing a Bastet lock in, so maybe that's why we saw the Bastet ban in the first game.
I didn't believe it was serious, but apparently Kaden likes the Bastet jungle. It's not a bad idea in terms of getting the damage output there, but it doesn't bring the same kind of utility that a Thor does in the first game. You know, you're relying heavily on slows instead of the stun that the Thor can do.
Yeah, I think the Bastet, like I said, I've seen him playing him in scrims and stuff, but I didn't think he would actually bring it out here. I think he actually got that from Mifflin, which is pretty funny, but I wanted him to be on something that's, you know, a little bit more pressure-wise, you know, better in that perspective, but I don't know. If he's comfortable on it, I'm down for it, because that's all you need from Kaden is to be comfortable.
That's probably one of the most important features, is if you know that you've got a player that has had issues with nerves on LAN or in a LAN environment in the past, try and eliminate that aspect. But with the Bastet, there comes a lot of risk, because Bastet, I think, can have a pretty difficult time as far as tracking down a Soul Thor and a Hu Yi because of the suns raining down on the cats.
That's very true. The AoE damage needs to be careful from Eanix's side, but the Bastet, what she can also provide to a team is the ability to shred objectives. Gold Fury can be a lot easier when you have the kitties taking the Gold Fury for you.
Yeah, I mean, like, it can fit here because obviously, you know, Matt is probably going to go on something more, you know, peel orientated. And, you know, Ryan's probably going to go on something, you know, dive. So, it's weird because Bastet's going to do a good job on their backline. And you know that's going to happen. So it's a good pick. It's not the worst thing that can happen. If it falls behind, it can really destroy SB's draft.
Any chance we see the Kakolin coming back maybe for Strictly Business this time, though?
What's up?
Any chance that we might see the Kakolin for SB here?
For SB, maybe. I want Ryan to play it because I want him on something that can control the pace. And that's something that Kakolin's really good at. So if you can put him on something and kind of do whatever he wants, like Osiris did, I'm down for that.
And surprising to see this Kakolin just so late in the draft, or not even picked, not even banned here. This is not a very common occurrence considering how aggressive this god is. And if Eanix can manage to get it, which it looks like they could potentially do, a Thor and a Kakolin is not the easiest to deal with.
Yeah.
Well, Geb is going to be the fourth pick of choice for SB, and what's interesting about this is that Geb, Bastet, Thoth, those are three gods that I think can suffer a little bit in the early game. Bastet, even though she has pretty decent clear, when you're pairing that alongside of that core composition, because it's the trio, right, of mid, jungle, and support, that's going to be your early to mid game presence for the most part, and I'm just seeing only 1/3 of that with really any sort of early game presence.
Yeah, Kois really likes this Geb. I think it's going to be a good idea to shut down Osric's aggressiveness.
Yeah, for sure. I think the Geb was a really smart pick. Like, they're going to struggle a little bit in the early, obviously, because they're not so strong in the early. But if they can, you know, bridge themselves through that and not lose too much off of the early, they'll be fine.
And Eanix, they still have that possibility of picking up the Kakolin for themselves if they even want to elect for it, but a lot of deliberation happening between these two teams on these next couple of picks. And what do you think causes these sorts of pauses?
Normally, you already know like your first three core picks, and that's generally going to be the faster picks during picks and bans. And then it's the last two where you want to just basically use the last remaining part of your bank time, making sure that you're hovering over the right god that you want, in case but you're still deliberating over it.
Yeah, that is really important to get what you really want, because if you don't think too much about your pick and the last two picks, it can really just destroy what you're trying to do with your whole draft. So I think they definitely had to be careful for sure. Now I do see Eanix going for the Kakolin here because they seem to favor it a lot. But I don't know. I guess we'll see what they pick. I mean, they only have like 10 seconds left though, so I don't know what they're doing.
only a few seconds left in the bank for Eanix, and there's one of them already. Tier Ares going to be the next one. So this is feeling more like Season 2 Smite right now.
That's a lot of control from Eanix between the Thor and the Tier Ares as well for the cripples. Not going to allow Geb to really escape. It's going to be a game of chicken of like who's going to use their ultimate first between this Ares and Geb. I'm
so interested to see how Dinosaur plays this Ares, because if you can play it at a high level, it really just destroys this comp. Like, it can be so good against the comp. It all depends on how he plays it. I've never seen it, so.
And Sun Wukong gonna even things out for Strictly Business. And again, even though SB might have a little bit of difficulties in the early game, as soon as it hits the mid to late game stride, it's gonna be really difficult trying to shut out that sort of composition. I
mean, Amusing Cobb, Thoth, late game, some huge, serious hyper carry threats out there. Bastet could potentially help get them there from the early game if they can sneak some of the objectives with those kitties.
Yeah, the late game is extremely devastating for Eanix, like from SB. If they can bridge themselves to that point, I think they're going to be really strong. I really like SB's draft.
So looking at these two teams, do you think that SB is going to close this one out 2-0?
Yeah. I think so, yeah.
After looking at the last game, I would definitely have to agree here that SB should be able to find a 2-0.
Well, time to find out whether or not Strictly Business is going to be able to close this one away in our last set of the day. We've got Aggro, we've got Tom in game number 2.
Thanks a lot, folks. And as we look at this one, this is a draft that seems to have already been won by SB, but it's one of those drafts where Eanix has so many odd picks in the tier and the Ares that if you're able to make those flash picks really shine, that's your only hope.
If Dinosaur can get big and just get off to a lead, I mean, we asked him to play something a little bit more aggressive, and this is certainly it on the Ares. I mean, you look at their first three picks, AMC, no CC immune ult, Thoth and Bastet, no CC immune ult, and they get bodied by that cripple from the Ares. That's the pick for me. I mean, if Dinosaur can be accurate, be around the map, and be aggressive, then he'll be in a good spot. But if the B for SB can get off to a better start, then it might make his life a little bit more difficult.
And what about the S?
That is the Sun Wukong. Yeah, he could get off to a lead too. Yeah, that'd be good.
I mean, he's an early game monster. He's a mid game monster, right?
Sure.
That's what he does. He just looks for the poke with the Jinky Bang. Right now, looking to set up an ambush here. Caden, Ryan Jarman, hiding behind the rock, just hanging out. Caden's Bastet, something I want to bring up. Nice pick.
It's one of his signatures for sure, and I'm not surprised that Eanix went to take away that Thor from him. I agree with what Feardicide said on the desk, that I would have wanted SB to pick that early to keep him really locked in like he was in game 1.
Yeah, I mean, you feed the hot hand, right? You just keep it worked phenomenally. You just keep everything as simple as possible. Nice little shot from Fly to keep Dinosaur out of too much trouble. And one more time, Vaporish going to go ahead and pick up his buff by himself.
And this is going to be it could be a red buff, though. It looks like the mid-Harpy's going to be the call here. Vaporish pretty late on clearing this red buff with that Hu Yi. Must have not quite had the spot to get that triple bounce on.
He did the back Harpies as well. Caden doing some damage here. Stunned out. No follow-up from Osric just yet. Just a couple of pokes from Predators on this solo lane tier. And that's one of the flash picks that I was talking about next to the Ares. Tier can be volatile, but can also have trouble in lane.
And while having some trouble in lane at times, having Osric start over here means that Predators is going to get through the early part where he will have trouble in that lane. Soon enough, he's going to be able to full clear and heal quite a bit as well with that defensive stance power cleave.
Much different story here. Ryan Jarman going to go down to the hand of Predators. First blood going to Eanix. Last game we were lamenting the fact that they had no pressure out of the Xing Qian, and because of that, Osric couldn't launch. This time, they seem to have the pressure.
I like it a lot more. Tier is one of those picks that we don't see a lot of, but when we do see it, it's almost always by someone who's very, very comfortable on it, like Variety or someone like that. And in this game, Predators, Tier is one of those characters that can make life really, really hard for a mage. Not like other warriors where it's just like, man, you know, I want to play the game and this warrior's not really letting me. Like a, man, I'm dead again because I just got Blink Fearless for my entire health bar.
Yeah, it's you know, miserable. It's Predators on the tier. Well, I'll just say tier. Tier's one of my favorite characters to watch play. He's so dynamic. He brings damage. He brings control. He brings tankiness. There's a lot that comes with it. But for some reason, he's kind of neglected. He's not frequently picked. Is that because he's kind of difficult to play?
That's part of it. It's also part of it because that he's risky. I mean, if you fall behind, then he doesn't really bring a lot. His CC, if interrupted, that's all of his damage. He doesn't have any damage outside of CC, really. So and you always have to be committing a dash in order to be doing damage for the most part. But when with a lead, Tier is without a doubt one of the scariest warriors to go up against, and his lane clear is also really, really good once you get past those early few levels.
And really what it is I talk about this scale of defensive to offensive a lot, and Tier is definitely one of these offensive warriors. He's going to stand there in zone just by being big and beefy, like you see the more traditional guys, like the Hercules and the Cucullins and stuff like that. But he also can just turn and be an assassin in a moment. A stance switch, and all of a sudden you're being damaged for a chunk of life and pushed into whatever nonsense Vapor and Fly want to send your way. He can be so impactful, and like you said, it's usually specialists that come out with the tier, and I love to watch it.
Dunk down on the speed buff. Caden has to use a purification beads, but Jarman's the focus. Only level 4. It's going to be a second quick kill onto Ryan Jarman, who has struggled early on in this game.
And I love the taunt coming out from Osric. Sure, I mean, y'all know that I like when people get loud no matter what. But specifically there, Osric had a miserable game number 1. For him to come in, get assist on the first blood, and get the secondary kill, and still feel himself to be like, what up, we're doing it? That's the type of, I call it the quarterback memory. That's what you got to have in order to be able to play at a high level.
Plus, it's just, you know, it makes you, you know, if I'm Ryan Jarman, I'm like, really? really, dude? We just beat you 24-3. Like, you're actually going to do that to me? It kind of gets in your head a little bit.
Oh, yeah.
That now you really want to, I'm going to put this dude in his place. He's spam taunting me.
You went 0-7, and you're taunting me. Now I'm going to go, and now you find yourself overextending.
Exactly. You got to keep that locked down. And Jarman has a couple experiences here at LAN, but not a LAN veteran by any stretch. And so anytime you think you can get a slight edge in that department, you got to take advantage.
Which is really funny, because we always talk about the art of war and how you have to get underneath your opponent's skin. I don't think, I'd say 75% of these guys out here are not thinking Sun Tzu when they yell at their opponent. They're just that amped up. I really think that's what it is. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, some of them are just jerks and think it's funny, and some of them are about, for me, whenever I got loud at LAN, it was always about getting my own team excited. It was less about getting in the opposition's head. It was more like for my own guys. But
we see that from Inbound on his team.
Well, he also just likes to be a jerk and yell at the other team. I mean, I watched Inbound yell at Strictly Business during a practice, like during a scrim on Thursday. Like, there was no competition happening, and he was yelling at Caden that he sucks. Like, that's just
Thor's
the way it
up.
goes.
Thor's up, and he lands on the right side again. Yo, Ryan Jarman, make it into the clouds, make it into the ground. 3 kills, and all 3 are on the solo lane Sun Wukong.
And what did we say about Tier? When he gets ahead, he's really scary. Well, newsflash, he's ahead. He's level 8 right now, alongside Osric, who looks like a completely different player so far. I mean, he's been really, really consistent with these Thor ults.
And, the tag team of Predators, Osric, 8-8, Jarman and Caden, 6-6. Not a slash line, mind you. The levels, that's kind of bad. Right now, Caden just hitting level 7. So, I mean, that's a level and a half.
I think Baronic might have just fat fingered that ult. There's no reason to fire that off. It was a quick trigger, and I think that he just accidentally hit it. And honestly,
Fly just stood there.
Yeah, and I just saw Caden look over at him like, really, dude? Like, that actually just happened? Look at how much damage Dinosaur's doing to Jarman. He might be able to just almost put him back in base by himself.
I mean, this is what you want your Ares to do. This is what you want your tier to do. And, like I said coming into this one, this is Eanix saying, we got to play our flash picks, and we got to make it happen. Right now, Invade coming out in Strictly Business's backyard. And successful. Eanix collect the speed buff, and they'll walk back as a unit, 4-man strong, into the solo lane.
Using something like a soul ult to confirm a buff, absolutely worth it in the early game. Buffs are worth more than kills, and that's something that I think a lot of our casual players might not always keep in mind. They're always diving for the kills and things like that, but things like stealing away buffs, always more impactful than getting the kill. It's the kills that lead to the buff steals, where it seems like, oh, well, I got a kill, so I'm huge now. It's really more that you stole away their farm in addition to that.
Yeah, I mean, the kills are very rarely what are going to give you, the bounty. When you're getting a giant shutdown, that's sure. When you're getting first blood, sure. But the kill is just the open window for you to go rob the place. That's what you're looking for. So, Eanix absolutely capitalized.
Why is it always about robbing with you?
What are you talking about?
You're always like, yeah, they pull the Gold Fury so that it's like throwing a brick through the window and you see when the cops come. Like, that's what you're always talking about.
Is that me?
It was when you get into your New York mode, yeah.
Well, right now, Matt Coy is bringing it right down Broadway. Dinosaur gets the death. Matt Coy finds a kill on the Geb off of the ultimate. And Strictly Business, bap, make a play, find themselves on the board.
Little unfortunate that kill goes to Matt Coys, though it's not the end of the world by any stretch. It's more about that 4 members got assists for that play, and that's good teamwork and good identification that Ares should be the target right now. He is so vulnerable, as is Baronic. He just got his dash caught out.
The wall, and the wall is perfect. Osric cuts off the escape path, but they might go a little bit too deep. Strictly Business has everyone in the wings, and Osric will fall down. I don't fault him for that chase. They just didn't have the vision that the entire team is there.
Yeah, but you got to know, I mean, you've got to have that red buff timer in the back of your head, understanding that you're walking into top left Harpies, and that's where the whole team just was. I mean, you saw them just kill your support on the left side of the map. Yeah. But I understand, I mean, to catch a dash like that as a jungler, you're like, all right, let's go. I just made a big play. We can try and find him. Just a little bit too aggressive, and that's the downfall of Soul in particular in the early game. Most mages there get a kill because of the purification beads being down and having the ult and having no mobility for the Thoth. Soul's early game really is not very good, and that damage from Supernova just not enough to bring down Baronic.
That's one of the mistakes that Eanix has sort of earned for themselves. They still have a little bit of room to make some more mistakes. Swag flip from Predators. Not going to be enough to take down the Sun Wukong. They still have a little bit of a lead, 1,500. So, give or take. So they've earned that mistake. They just can't make too many more.
Exactly. So they're still sitting okay. And remember, that's on the left side of the map, and the right side of the map is where the lead for Eanix really is, though that is a kill for Kaden onto Osric, which is, look at the levels.
Oh, there it is. There it is. Ryan Jarman, 1v1. Predators, true to his name, taking down the artist formerly known as Nickwood. Fantastic play coming out from the tier.
I love Kaden just letting Osric start up this speed, though I don't think he's going to be able to get in there in time to steal it away. Osric gets it, and that's another speed buff stolen away by Eanix. This right side has gone so heavily in their favor, and so much of it has been about Predators.
Predators? Yeah, Predators has been out of control, like we said. When the tier comes through, it's because they're a specialist and they played it right. And, you know, Osric definitely dies a little bit too trigger happy there in the middle lane. Matt Coy sets up the mid laner. Dinosaur still very much alive. Over the wall comes the Catman. Not going to be the case. There's a little bit of a stun from Baronic. That's the hot play. Kaden gets the kill, sure, but what a flashy assist from the mid lane mage.
That was really nice, and his ult was great as well. Set up perfectly by Matt Coys, who used the CC chain to perfection. That's where this game is heading for Strictly Business. Jarman is out of this game. I mean, he's down 2 levels. He's 0-4. Predators is huge. No one should spend any time in the solo lane now, except for Jarman, because there's no way that Predators is getting killed, even with a gank. So spend your time, focus on the mid lane, because Baronic seems to be looking really comfortable on the Thoth. You can get him ahead again and try and get him to be the guy who's going to carry you come mid game. Look, Predators is going to want to stack physical defense because he wants to keep diving on the right hand side. He wants to keep taking that 1v1 up against Jarman. If Baronic can get the damage online and be the one to kill Predators all by himself, that negates a lot of the lead that Eanix have gotten for themselves.
And that's where, you know, Eanix has to be careful. They've got to protect that. And, you know, right now, they're doing what they're doing. Able to take that tier 1 tower on the right side, still preserving their lead just like that. And, you know, I want to see, this is where I want to see Predators. You got the tier 1 tower, make these rotations and gank this mid lane.
You have to, especially before Baronic gets Aegis up, and you got to force purification beads. That's why we see the tier drafted here in my mind, is that you have to have someone else who's getting purification beads or getting something off of beads being down. Predators can back to base now. He hit level 14, get a blink, come to mid, and start making plays.
Missed chain there from Dinosaur. Not going to be able to find it just yet. Level 10. On the support areas so far. Vapor gonna go, well, think twice. I think he's got something in the jungle to farm. Where are they going?
Just kind of hanging around red, or excuse me, the Gold Fury just in case, but it's glowing red because the Oracle Vision from Strictly Business. Vapor is probably just a little bit off of finishing off an Executioner there, likely why he's sticking around.
Just want to be able to stay out in the field and grab some extra gold right quick. 12 minutes in, 7 kills. Eanix own 4 of them, and just like that, they own the lead as well. Almost 3K up, more like 2 or so, but certainly having a much more fruitful early game at the very least compared to last time around. And Eanix, they're going to do something, and I like this call.
So do I, because Predators is here. He's got the blink, and there he goes, right onto Matt Coys with that blink fearless. Coys locked in. He's going to fall here, but that was a lot committed on top of him.
That said, there's the Ares, the ultimate from Ares. Not going to pull anybody, but it's a 4-on-5 thus far. No Geb ultimate available. Predator still has his, but of course that's much less impactful than some of the other options. Gold Fury down to 75%.
Final Judgment still up, though, for Baronic, and that's what's making Eanix nervous. They don't want to try and pull it right in the face of all that damage. Predator is taking a lot of damage right now, and Baronic looking for it, but doesn't pull the trigger.
Why not? They were all lined up.
I think they were out of range a little bit, but that angle makes it tough to see just how far away everyone was.
Yeah, Baronic a little bit cautious, perhaps the correct move, because he is the one that's keeping Eanix off of the Gold Fury. Predators chasing everybody out. The level 14 tier, fantastic. And that is still a success by Eanix. They get 2 kills for nothing. Just because you start the Gold Fury doesn't mean...
Ooh! What a play by Ghost. Catches the hammer toss and cripples him out with the stinger. That's just an outplay, 1v1.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what Strictly Business need. They're losing the right side of the map. Predators and Osric are massive. You need your damage dealers to come up big and make a play. And that's Ghost just saying, I got the reads, bro. I know what you're thinking, and I'm going to take advantage.
And, you know, I got to highlight this for the people at home. That stinger has a delay on it. he had to hit that almost before the hammer comes out in order to catch that dash.
Predator still has sprint, and he's going to use it to try and get away from the Cats, and Cat's actually just healing him up more than anything else, basically, with that defensive stance power cleave. Going to bring him down to about half HP once more, but no chance for kill potential with Jarman having no mana.
Fatal Ghost, man,
that's a big play.
That is a ice cold read. That's what I'm trying to illustrate there, is that he doesn't, oh, you're throwing the hammer, let me respond. That's him going, we're collapsing, you're going to throw the hammer, I'm getting the cripple.
And just being accurate with it. I was going to say that was a lot of ultimates held onto by Strictly Business in the middle of that engagement. And Fatal Ghost, I was going to say probably should have used it earlier, but can't argue with it when he makes a huge play like that. On the other hand, I love Baronic's non-use of the ultimate there. He just consistently steps up, starts charging, and says, you going to do something about it? Yeah, I didn't think so. Don't go too far here. I'm gonna shoot you. Okay, step back. That was the entire bait there by Baronic, and he's the main reason why that Gold Fury didn't go down in Eanix's favor. Love his patience there, understanding that he doesn't have to commit that ultimate until he's got some setup or until that Gold Fury is within steal range.
Well, if he tosses the ultimate when I asked for it, and he doesn't get a kill, Eanix get the Gold Fury free.
Without a doubt.
Right now, there's going to be Predators initiating onto Kaden. A little bit of help from his friends. There's the pull. There's the kill. Vapor and Predators 7 and 8. On the other side, Osric lands down on top of Baronic. There's the wall. He'll back off. His team taking care of the Gold Fury. Over the top comes Predators, trying to chase down the mid lane mage. Catches him. Fearless. Power cleave. See you later. Love potion number 9. The Gold Fury goes down. 16 minutes on the clock, and Eanix ahead by 5K.
Predator's doing so much in this game, man. He starts off that engagement, blink Fearless onto Kaden. That puts him in range for Dinosaur to yank him back. Jarman out of position because he gets pulled by that Ares ultimate as well. Then he chases Baronic in because Osric had already taken care of his purification beads. The teamwork has been great from Eanix, and the individual plays have been right there to follow up. And it's not been the guys that we kind of expected. It was Vaporish Coast yesterday who was the highlight guy for Eanix. The 50-meter fly has been talked about by the EU players as one of the strongest players in their region, if not the strongest, and to keep an eye on him. He's just been along for the ride, dude. Yesterday, Vaporish. Today, it's Osric and Predators. More so Predators with that 4-0 and 5 slash line already on tier.
Which, again, early on, when this team came through and I was staring at the jungler, I said, I'm not sure if this team is going to do it with this solo laner. Predators had a lot of issues, and just the journey, man.
It's been impressive, and now they're going to go for the Fire Giant here, and
gutsy call.
They've got it. I mean, look at where the map is for Strictly Business. Caden's on left. He's trying to get a tier 1 tower. He'll get it. Sick. You just got 500 gold while the enemy team was getting a Fire Giant.
Why are they giving it up, though? I mean, SB can fight.
I think they can, too. I just think that maybe they feel like they can't, though I feel like they probably could have. Even without Caden there, you got enough to at least force Eanix to not take the Fire Giant for free. I would have liked to see Strictly Business step up and at least force Eanix to make a play to secure it.
They were also going to get a tier 2 for free, absolutely free of charge here. Strictly Business, they don't invest anything. Nobody's here to play defense. They don't have to zone at all. Everybody's just off picking their nose.
And it goes back to what Fear Decide said on the desk. What happens whenever Kaden doesn't get to be the guy? I mean, it starts to get a little passive, and that's what we've seen from Strictly Business. He got off to a really, really bad start. So did Ryan Jarman, and the life seems to have been sucked out of the Strictly Business roster. They're kind of rolling over right now.
I mean, and Bastet is also one of these characters that does nothing but damage.
Yeah, Bastet I just am not a big believer in right now.
I love Bastet, but you got to be able to bring the damage.
Yeah, and I think that no one looked at Dinosaur early on. There was the one play where Koiz hits him with the blink ult, and it's followed up by Baronic's ult. Ares is food in the early game. That's how you have to think about it, because if you let him do nothing and just kind of sit around and cripple you and pull you back in, he's really, really strong.
Don't tell Rochacho.
Well, Chach knows, because he's been the dude eating people alive with Ares, or he's been gobbled up. I mean, that's what happened in a lot of our games. It was either Chach got off to a great lead or he got gobbled up, and that's the risk reward of Ares. If you don't punish him, and Strictly Business had the tools to do so, they just didn't. They just didn't play aggressive enough on that left side of the map. And at some point, you know, almost every team's jungler is a leader in communication, is a leader in what you want to do on the map, because where they are dictates so much. But when your jungler falls behind and your solo lane falls off the face of the planet, you have to kind of take it upon yourself, as Matt Koiz is a veteran of this team, as Baronic is someone who knows he's got the damage, to just be like, yo, okay, that sucks. They're screwed. Let's just do our thing. Let's kill the Ares, because Ozric isn't there. He's camping solo. Predators isn't leaving yet. Let's just kill the Ares over and over again and at least get Ghost ahead. At least get me ahead as Baronic. That's what I would have been looking for, and I think that Strictly Business could have utilized that and clawed their way back into this game by utilizing the left side of the map instead of just kind of throwing their hands up and saying, well, you know, our right side got bodied. Yeah, but what was your left side doing?
And also know the team you're playing against. Ozric can 100% be baited into going too deep.
Yeah, it happened to him.
We've watched it. We've been here for two days, and we've watched Ozric do that more often than not, even when they win. Use that player knowledge. It's not enough to come through and say, we know picks and bans, we know the meta, we know the MOBA. Know your opposition. This jungler is known for going too deep. Bait him. You did it once. Continue to do so. Strictly Business do not do that. And Eanix are up 12K.
Speed buff started by Kaden, but might have to just back it up. I think he got it.
He does.
Dropped it, but he's not going to be able to pick it up because the whole of Eanix is here denying it from him.
Yeah, they just did their house cleaning. No more towers left with SB logos on them. Eanix able to take all of them out with a nice Fire Giant sweep. 40 seconds left on the objective victory point.
I like this idea, though, from Eanix. Usually I'm asking for Phoenix pushes, but still really early. 20 minutes in, just get all the towers, get all the buffs you can, get the Gold Fury, push this lead up to 13K, and then just get the next Fire Giant and take it from there. Next Fire is the one that has Phoenix written on it.
Yeah, this is Eanix, like I said, this is house cleaning. They take care of all of the towers, they clean the left side, but they clean out the left side buffs, they try to clean out the right side buffs, an additional Gold Fury, and just sort of waste time for this Portal Demon to come up, which is about to, and just sort of try to loop this cycle one more time.
It's so funny. I mean, look at the player damage charts. It's literally Predators, Ozric, and then Strictly Business. I mean, 50-meter fly on Vaporish Coast have just been like in the stands like, yeah, Predators, you're sick. Like, go. Like,
do it, man.
Yeah, that's all they've had to do because it's been that dominant on the right side.
And again, this is a lower end team in a league where Europe is looked at as the little brother, and Eanix are not they're not the rival. They're not the team that everybody's looking at. And again, this was, you know, I think yesterday's victory was Eanix showing how talented they were at taking advantage of the opponent's mistakes. This was just good Smite.
This was just good Smite. This was just they played better than Strictly Business in this game.
Which is a big statement.
Specifically, they played much better than Ryan Jarman.
Yes.
And that is you know, it's never one person's fault in a Smite game. It's literally never one person's fault.
Because if somebody's having a bad game, it's your teammate's job to help them.
It's that, you know, even if, okay, let's say this guy's going 0-10, you know, what could we have done elsewhere on the map to exploit that? You know, it is never, ever one person's fault. But in the 1v1, Jarman got outclassed in this matchup. And that is not something that I thought I'd be saying coming into this game because Ryan Jarman is thought of as one of the best solos in North America. I mean, he's right there. Wolves is still ahead above everybody else, but Jarman's right there. And he just got bodied.
Just very, very emphatically.
Yeah.
Like, not even close. Predators and Ozric, and, you know, you say, well, you know, Ozric was holding Predator's hand the whole time. Yeah, until he got the solo kill, which he was, I think, a level and a half above. It wasn't like he was out of this world. And when you get soloed by a tier, you did something wrong.
Yeah, you're not. I mean, he didn't have blink. He didn't catch you by surprise. Nope. His ultimate was down. Your ultimate was down. If you're half HP and you got no ultimate against a tier, are you really gonna walk up to him?
You got Fearless under your tower.
It's not like it is a melee range ability. Like, you have to willfully put yourself there in the 1v1.
Predators just took what was given to him. Fantastic job by him and his team so far. Absolutely the surprise here at the SCL Finals LAN, and it's fun to watch. That's the key. It's fun to watch. They're not beating people down with 4 tanks here, Ryan. They're playing good old-fashioned Smite. Thor in the jungle, Tyr in the solo lane, Ares in the support. This is exciting. They're doing it with flash. They're doing it with flavor. And, I mean, we spoke to them yesterday. They're excited to be here, and they're an excitable group.
Mid Phoenix, the call, and Dinosaur gonna be the first one in. There's the Blink Cataclysm. Focus on a Dinosaur. Decent damage onto him, but not enough. And Matt Coys is the one who needs to retreat for the moment because Predators is keeping everybody busy.
The whole team is retreating, and Predators here by his lonesome. High five over the top, and he's gonna be okay.
Gets out. Now that you can use that Fire Giant regen and get ready to siege once more.
No ultimates on the side of SB. Fantastic defensive stop. That is what you want to do. But you can't do it again. And Osric still has an ult. Dinosaur still has an ult. That's scary. That said, 3 beads on SB.
Yeah, no defensive relics used by any of the carries. So that is a win for Strictly Business. And Baronic getting close to the point where even without his ult, he's doing scary levels of damage. But without that Rod of Tahuti, not quite enough to just 100-0 people with it without his ult.
Interesting. Look at the 4th item coming out from 50-meter fly. Hold on, we'll talk about it. Dinosaur instead blinks forward, chases beads, grabs a player. Dinosaur going to be in trouble. Back line comes the jungler. Caden front line takes care of Dinosaur. The damage out of Osric not going to be enough, so it's a 4v5, and Eanix find the retreat. Good
damage there, and again, Dinosaur the focus, and he's got to be. I mean, he's still the most vulnerable member of this Eanix roster, just because Vaporis has been under so little pressure that he's really got relics to spare. Same could be said for 50-meter fly. So instead of going for those who are going to have relics, just pick off the low-health Ares who already had blinked in. Nice decision there by Strictly Business.
Yeah, it was really good defensive stop. I asked for them to do it again. They did it. Good job.
They did it again.
Target selection this time instead of just raw. You know, that's brawn versus brains, right? You come through, hit 4. You can't do that. Second time, well, we got to be smart about this one. We'll do this intelligently. It's you know, it's like Raphael versus Donatello.
I see what you did there.
Don's a smart one. Raph is like kind of the aggressive one, right?
Yeah.
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 You have no idea what I'm talking about.
I mean, it's the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I know that. I was never like, I don't know, TMNT, like, they were cool, but
they're cool.
It never really did it for me. I don't know.
I mean,
okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, they're in the sewers of Boston. Do you care?
No.
Of course not. The only reason you care about Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is because they're from New York.
Not the only reason. I take offense to that statement and the way you said it, but they're also really cool and they like to eat pizza.
New York pizza.
Ham, jam. Thank you, man. That's the. I mean, we can do the whole.
No, I think they're cool. It's just I don't know. I mean, I'm not like heavily invested in.
I mean, I'm not heavily invested in them either, but I'll call them cool.
Yeah, they're cool.
It was just cool.
You're the one making it, in-depth references here, Tom. That's all.
Well, the key is that Donatello was a smart person, and being smart wasn't always cool. And he made being smart cool, and that's a positive influence for children.
I can agree with that.
This game's only 26 minutes in. Eanix have just wrestled.
Probably felt like an eternity to Ryan Jarman, who now has a Stone of Gaia, and that's going to really help him, because now if he gets tier fearless, though he really shouldn't be the focus of that any longer, because, I mean, you got to be looking at Caden, who has done a great job of farming in the meantime. I mean, he's actually caught up to Osric in levels. He's level 18, the highest on his team, and that's with him losing his right side jungle basically all game.
Eanix just did a really good job. How do I make Ryan Farman work?
Yeah, that's a ooh. Okay, I'm gonna work on it. You work on it, and then one of us will break it
Here,
out.
I'll reset the game while we think about it. Okay.
Okay, yeah, go for it.
27.5 minutes in, at 9-5. Eanix leading in all relevant categories, almost 20K up. As they take the Fire Daddy one more time, looking to push for what could be the final moment.
And Eanix got their lead because Ryan got farmed in the solo lane. Nailed it! Took all that time, got right where I wanted.
C-.
Yeah, I know, it was terrible. That's why I tried to get up and over. Like, I thought that you would just, like, if I was real excited about it, you would just let me have it, but...
Remember that last time? I don't actually remember what it was, but you didn't let me have it, so I'm doing the same.
I have literally no idea what you're talking about.
Eye for an eye. As Eanix looking for the same thing. Strictly Business taking the first game here. Ryan Jarman seemingly blind the entirety of the early game. Eanix taking advantage.
He got farmed.
And now pushing up the left side lane. If anybody wants to cast with me, feel free to come back out of the pit. Final push on the left side, or what could be, by Team Eanix. Caden on the right side. Don't know what he's threatening. He's not that threatening enough. He needs to be with the rest of his squad here, Ryan.
I don't know if I agree. I think I like the idea for Caden to go into the back line, try and just put some poke out onto the enemy backliners and make them just reconsider where they are, because Baronic has Rod of Tahuti now. So Rod of Tahuti is going to do 60% of their HP. If he can take off 35, 40%, he's done his job.
Ozric needs to find the wall stun to get rid of that Mad Knight's Blessing right away. Instead, it's going to be Baronic that's targeted by Tyr on the backside. There's a nice ultimate coming up from Matt Koiz, but look who's in the sky. It's Thor landing on Fatal Ghost. Trouble for Predators as he's surrounded by a couple of different carries. Trying to deal the damage. Fearless power cleave in the ground. Ryan Jarman, number 6. He falls down again. The left side Phoenix falls down. Mid side Phoenix will go down as well.
Baronic still has ultimate, just never got a chance to use it because of the great job zoning by Predators. There's a stun on a Matt Koiz. Predators gonna go for it right away, and Vaporish Coast's gonna get the kill.
That's the setup, man, that you're looking for. Predators coming through 5, 0, and 6, pummeling players into the wall while Vapor pummels them into the ground. 1 Phoenix remains. It's a 5-on-3 here, Ryan. Eanix are setting themselves up for victory.
Again, Baronic still has ultimate, but usually you want to use that up and over the wall. Problem is, none of these carries are low enough to really care about that ultimate still.
Nope. Predator's going to take turn tanking here. Phoenix halfway down. Fly and Vapor just pushing it in. And down it goes. All 3 birds are deleted. Eanix going to look for the retreat here. I want a light retreat. I want Eanix to hide around a corner and tackle strictly business.
I mean, there's no way SB's leaving their base.
It looked like they were gonna.
Fire minions in mid. They've got fire minions in left. Now they've got to worry about him in right as well. Though it looks like they might be going for the loop in here. Dinosaur does have the blink. Fatal Ghost, no beads.
Oh, but he's backing, except he's going to get caught. There's the ultimate, and ultimately, he's going to get pushed, and he's going to get punished. Fly with the kill off of the assist from the solo and the support.
Oh, Koi's caught in the wrong spot. The support mentality ends up coming back to bite him. Predators up and over that wall, and now with this many dead fire minions pouring in, Eanix might be able to close it out right here.
Swag flip over the top for Predators to close out the support. Titan's going to be the target, except it's Ryan Jarman one more time. He's got half a dozen Ds right now. Bad luck 13 for Eanix in the kill column. The Titan could be number 14.